Hey everybody, it's Chris Jesty again, and we're coming at you with another round of Cameron Heat list reviews. We're getting toward the end. We've only got 10 more to go, and we're going to cover 5 in this one and 5 in the next one. And for time's sake, let's just go ahead and get right into it. So first up this time around, we have Inyip's list, which is a Rimworld's Republic Terran Core list. So he's going to be starting off with a Jackrabbit JKR-9R, the Joker. I'm pretty sure we saw this earlier. If I'm not mistaken, Vapor had it on his list. It's a 25 tonner, 6'9 movement profile, 11 heat sinks, 80 out of 89 armor. Not bad. Not great with the 6'9 movement profile on a 25 tonner, and it's got a large laser and a streak too. Not a good objective runner, not a tanky mech, just kind of filler. I mean, it's 810 battle value and you get a large laser out of it and a little bit of poking with an SRM2. Moving on. And it's at 3-4 at 810 battle value, by the way. So I don't know if I would have bumped it down to 3-4, honestly. Next up, we do have the Dervish DV-1S. This is the first time we've seen this one, I'm pretty sure. 55 ton mech, coming in at 4.63 movement profile. So a little short on the jump, but just enough to get you that +2. 10 heat sinks. 107 out of 185 armor. Ugh, don't like that. This is basically another light mech. And it's got 2 SRM2s, 1 in each arm, and then 2 LRM10s, 1 in each side torso. So, okay. I mean, if you're going to be offering fire support, you don't really need to get that close. But then again, if you're going to be a fire support mech, you don't really need those 3 jump jets. I mean, the jump jets are okay for maneuvering and getting yourself up into little sniper perches and stuff, but that 107 armor is a bit of a liability if you ask me. The 2 LRM10s are nice, but 4.6 3 movement profile, weak armor, not great for its tonnage or its armor for that matter. And it's coming in at 3-4 at 1140 battle value, 1140. So another mech that I'm a little questionable about right out the gate. I think I put some bids on this one, or at least I would have if it weren't for these next 2 mechs, because these are disgusting. Next up is the Dragoon AEM-02. If we haven't covered this one yet, which I think we have, it's a 5.8 movement profile on a 70 tonner. And this one's coming in at a 3-4 skill rating at 2,232 battle values. There's a quarter of the list right there. 20 total heat sinkage, 10 doubles, 206 out of 217 armor, ERPPC, and a medium laser in the left arm. The right arm has an AC-20. Left torso has 2 medium lasers. Right torso has another medium laser. Center torso has another medium laser. And there's a small pulse laser in the head. You do have 2 tons of ammo for that AC-20s, which is 10 turns of firing, and case in the right torso for that AC-20 ammo, which is where it's located. Now, this is a nasty brawler. 5.8 movement profile with an AC-20 and an ERPPC for poking on your way in. And you're 70 tons, so if you get into melee with almost anything else that's 5.8, you're gonna mollywop it. Good mech. Next up is the Dragoon AEM-03. So we got double dragoons on this list. This is also coming in at 3-4 battle value, or 3-4 skill level, and 2,062 battle value. So these 2 Dragoons are quite literally half your list. This one is 70 tons, only coming in at 4.6 movement profile. 20 heat sinkage, does have an XL engine. I'm pretty sure the other one has to have an XL engine. Yes, it does. 350 XL. That's why it's faster. It's got 206 out of 217 armor, so just as protected as the other one. And this is more of a fire support mech. This one has 1, 2, 3 LRM-15s, 2 medium pulse lasers. The LRM-15s are split between the left and right arm. The left one has a medium pulse laser and 1 LRM-15. The right arm has 1 medium pulse laser and 1 LRM-15. My bad. The third LRM-15 is in the right torso, so at least you're even on the arms. And there is a medium laser and a small pulse laser in the center torso, and another small pulse laser in the head. So 2 small pulse lasers total, 1 regular medium laser, 2 medium pulse lasers total, and 3 LRM-15s. Wow, this is a solid fire support mech. You've got the heat sinks to fire all 3 of those LRM-15s every turn and walk or run, which if you're lobbing LRM-15s downrange, you're probably standing still. And then if anything gets close to you, you've got medium pulse lasers, a regular medium laser, and 2 small pulse lasers. So the minimum range band of your LRM-15s is covered. With the other Dragoon screening for this one, absolutely disgusting list. Actually, I played against this list already. Nitro was using this list, and those Dragoons were very, very scary and did a ton of damage to me. Next up is the Turhan Urban Combat Vehicle. This also did a lot of damage to me, and I wasn't expecting it. This is a 50-ton vehicle coming in at 640 battle value. Dirt cheap for a vehicle. With the weaponry it has. It's a 4-5 skill level, so nothing special there. This is the stock price. Oh yeah, both of those Dragoons were 3-4. If I didn't mention it earlier, it's 4-6 movement profile, so not much of a TMM to speak about there, but you do have 120 armor, so expect to get nailed and then go, immobile pretty quickly. It is a wheeled vehicle, which isn't as bad as hovers, but they still get penalties on the mode of crit chart, or mode of hit chart, I should say, not a crit technically. But the weaponry on this is solid for how dirt cheap this thing is. It's got a front mounted machine gun and then 2 large lasers and a machine gun in a turret. So those 2 large lasers have 360 coverage. There is no flanking this vehicle and getting out of its firing arc. This is solid for how cheap it is. Large lasers are good weapons in this era. Just regular plain large, not even ER, regular large lasers are okay right now. They're not bad, and you're fast enough, or lack thereof, to use them and poke from range. 640 battle value, 2 large lasers. Compared to the Jackrabbit up here, which is 810 battle value, not much quicker at 6.9, and it's only got 1 large laser, and it's like 200 battle value more. Yeah, this is a solid deal. And last and definitely not least, probably the scariest thing on the list, honestly, is an SRM carrier. 60-ton vehicle, 1,077 battle value, coming in at 3-4. Oof. It's got a grand total of 48 armor, 12 in all 4 locations. That's right. This does not have a turret. It's got, I think, 10 SRM-6s. Yep, 10 SRM-6s, all front mounted. So this does not have a turret. I prefer the one with a turret, but I don't think that exists right now. So this can be outmaneuvered and flanked. It's just, good luck. Anything within 9 hexes of this is just going to get splatted by all those SRM-6s. Don't need to elaborate more on the SRM carrier, I don't think. So, Inyip's list is absolutely brutal. Those 2 Dragoons alone are what kind of put this list out of my bidding range. The Jackrabbit wasn't that great. I was like, And the Dervish is also not that great. It's a okay poking unit, but you've already got the Turhan, which is half its battle value almost, with the 2 large lasers. I mean, granted, the large lasers only go out to 15 hexes versus the LRM's 21 max range and 14 medium range for the LRMs. But that's also double the battle value and like not much more armor Honestly. Actually, I think the Turhan has more armor than the Dervish. It does by like 13 points. So the two weak links here are the Jackrabbit and the Dervish. The vehicles are solid. There's nothing wrong with these vehicles. And then the Dragoons are going to have to do the heavy lifting in this list. And they definitely can. I have every confidence that these Dragoons are going to wreck everyone's day if they get going and they don't get overwhelmed by enemy fire. And hopefully the Dervish and the Jackrabbit can run interference. So solid list. I don't think it got any votes for me, if I remember correctly. All right, moving on. Next list was submitted by Kaiser Falk, and he's going with the Lyran Commonwealth. So we're going to see a few mechs we haven't seen yet, I don't think. And this one is, the first up is the Alfar, AL-A1, coming in at 4/5 skill value at 1447 battle value. So this is bone stock, 55 tonner with a 583 movement profile, standard fusion engine, 15 single heat sinks, 179 out of 185 armor. That's not bad. I like this already. The 3 jump I'm not a fan of. I prefer you bumping that up to 5, but what are you going to do? It's got 2 medium lasers in the left arm, a PPC in the right arm, an SRM-6 in the left torso, and another medium laser in the head for 3 total, and 1 ton of SRM ammo. So a full 15 shots will go the distance for any match. Okay, I forgive it for having 3 jump. This is good. 179 armor at 185, well armored for 55 tonner. You've got one of the best weapons of this era, a PPC, and you've got the best weapon of the era, and 3 of them, medium lasers, and then an SRM-6 for crit fishing. I mean, what more could you ask for in a 55 tonner? And it's got your standard 5.8 movement profile. Yes, please. I like it. I need to see this more often. I hope it survives the Star League era, because this is good. I like this base here. Poking and brawling and crit seeking. Nice, well-rounded 55-ton mech. No complaints out of me. I'm sad I didn't take one. Next up is the Flashman FLS-8K 75 tonner. I think we may have seen this one before. 2,348 battle value. So this is literally a quarter of the list, coming in at 3/4 skill value. It's a 5.8 movement profile on a 75 tonner. Ooh, fast boy here. And it's fast for how big it is anyway. And it's got a 375 XL rated engine. So this is an Innersphere XL, but it's a Flashman, which means it's an energy boat and you probably don't have any ammo. We'll see if that's true. It's got 30 total heat sinkage, 15 doubles, 216 out of 231 armor. Perfect. That's where you want to be. I mean, max would be, max is better, but close to max is good enough. And it's got 1, 2, 3 large lasers, 1 in each arm, and then 1 in the center torso. It's also got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 medium lasers, 1 also in each arm, 2 in the left torso, 1 in the right torso, and ooh, there it is, an AMS also in the right torso. Okay, so you can go boom with the AMS ammo that's in the right torso. Probably might want to dump that if your opponent is not missile heavy, although it can put in work if they are missile heavy. And it's also got a flamer in the head just in case you happen to have a barbecue emergency. Also of note, one of those medium lasers in the left torso is rear facing, which could come in handy possibly, but for the most part you're only ever going to have 4 mediums facing forward. And considering you have 30 heat sinks on this thing, and if you fire all 3 of those larges, you can pick up a couple mediums or a medium and walk or run and still be okay. I think this is a very solid mech for this era. Standard gyro. The XL engine is a little worrying because you lose a torso and you lose the mech. So it's not quite as survivable as you might think with that good armor rating of 216 out of 231, but it's still a solid laser boat mech. I mean, yes, it does have AMS ammo. It can blow up, but all those lasers are good. 3 large lasers are solid for poking. You really don't have to get that close with this thing if you don't want to. The large lasers will do enough damage to make it worth its while. Granted, it is at a 3-4 skill value, and it's a quarter of your list, so maybe you do want to close the gap and start using those mediums to do more damage. And next up is the best Locust, the Locust LCT-1V Little B, the Royal Locust. So this is a 20-ton light mech coming in at 770 battle value at 4-3 skill level, so expecting to be doing some kicking and charging with this thing. It's got an 812 movement profile, standard Locust nonsense, 160 XL engine, so you lose a torso, you lose the mech. Considering it's a Locust, that's not surprising. You lose a torso, you're basically losing the mech anyway. 69 out of 69 armor. I mean, it's as armored as it can possibly be. 20 total heat sinkage with 10 doubles. Yeah, that's well oversunk for this thing. It's got 2 medium pulse lasers, 2 small pulse lasers, 1 of each in each arm, and then a regular medium laser in the center torso. Very solid, very scary, backstabbing mech. The accuracy on those medium pulse lasers make it an excellent light hunter. So yes, your opponent might have a Mongoose or a Locust or an Oscout, but they likely don't have 2 medium pulse lasers and 2 small pulse lasers, because now their 4 TMM is a 2 TMM and you still have your 3 to 4 TMM. So yeah, definitely a good mech for anti-light mech duties. I put one of these in my list if I'm not mistaken. All right, and next up is the Star Slayer STY-2C. I don't think we've seen this one yet. It's a 50-tonner coming in at 1502 battle value at a 4-4 skill level. It's got a 585 movement profile. 50 tons, 585, not bad, not bad. So far, so good. Standard fusion engine, 22 total heat sinks, 11 doubles, 125 out of 160 armor. Ooh, there it is. That's the part I don't like. The weapon profile, it's got a large laser in the right arm, an SRM4, and 2 medium lasers in the left torso, a large laser in the right torso, and a small laser in the head facing the rear. Okay, all right, sure, why not? And it's also got 1 ton of SRM4 ammo for that SRM4 that's in the left torso, and case. And you do have a standard fusion engine, so if you lose the ammo, you do not lose the mech, which is good. So 2 large lasers and 2 medium lasers with only you do have 22 heat sinks. That's enough. That's more than enough. Decently sunk, okay laser sniper. If you put it next to your flashman, you might want to put it near the flashman and let them shoot at the flashman instead, because this thing's only got 125 armor. But you can jump for 5, which does make up for it. So can only complain so much. And considering its 4-4 skill value, it's not bad. I think it's all right. It's a good mech. It's just a little fragile for my taste. Next up, we have a Beagle Hover Scout. We've seen this a couple times, I'm pretty sure. It's a 15-ton vehicle. This one is coming in at 4-4 skill level at 369 battle value. Nice. It's got a 1218 hover movement profile, 53 armor. It does have a medium laser in a turret and a front-mounted small laser and an active probe, which actually comes in handy for the, missions that need it, like signal trace. So this is a good objective runner. If it gets hit by anything significant or even anything insignificant, it could become immobilized. If it gets hit more than once or twice, it's probably going to die. It's a fragile, fast hovercraft that we've seen a bunch of times. It's good. It's real good. Just don't get hit. And last on this list, definitely not least, is the Guillotine GLT-3N. Don't think we've seen this one yet. It's a 70 tonner coming in at a 464 movement profile. So a little slow for a 70 tonner, but not bad. Well, slow considering the Dragoon was 5.8. It's got a standard fusion engine, 192 out of 217 armor. Pretty good. All right, I like where we're going with this. It's got 25 single heat sinks. So, wow. A whole lot of heat sinks. And I don't even know if you need them all. You have one large laser in the left arm, 2 medium lasers in the right arm, 1 medium laser in each side torso for a total of 4, and then a SRM-6 in the center torso with case for the SRM-6 ammo in the right torso. And with the standard fusion engine with the case, that's good. You always want to see that. And it's only 1560 battle value, really? At 4.4? This is pretty good. 1 large laser, 4 medium lasers, solid brawler, decently armored. I kind of like where this is going, and I see the theme here for this list. Be in large laser range. That's what it seems like. Because the Alfar had a PPC, a bunch of mediums. Yep. The Flashman has 3 larges. The Locust is a pulse boat that can backstab. The Star Slayer had a couple of larges, or at least one. Oh yeah, it had a pair of larges. The Guillotine has a large. And of course the Beagle is there to run objectives with the Locust, or as backup, in case the Locust doesn't make it, or vice versa. So this is a very good list. I don't think this one got any votes from me. I don't recall. Each mech has a lot of lasers, and then one little chink in the armor, whether it's an SRM-4 with ammo, or the AMS ammo on the Flashman, or, the SRM on the Guillotine, SRM-6, I should say. So these are really good, hard to kill mechs. Most of them that do have that little chink in the armor do have case to at least let the mech continue to fight on, except for the Flashman. And the Flashman is the most heavily armored one there, so it's not quite as resilient as you might think, just because losing a side torso means you lose the mech, because it does have that XL engine. So in reality, the Guillotine is probably the tankiest unit on this list. Even though it has slightly less armor than the Flashman, it will outlast the Flashman if they take equal damage in the long run, especially if that damage goes to the torso. So this is a good brawling list. A lot of large lasers, a lot of medium lasers, and I mean that's what you want to see. No LRMs, I don't think. So their long range game is going to be a little weak until they get to within 15 hexes for those LRM, or for those large lasers. While those LRMs will be shooting at medium range at 14 hexes. But overall, pretty good list. Can't complain. I like it, which is why it's not getting any votes from me. Next up, third on our list, and is someone who I consider a good friend and who's been on actually YouTube videos. I've casted quite a few of his matches. And he's even come out to play in the SoCal Open. Matt the Northman from the Valhalla Club podcast fame. He's one of the best guys I know out there in the Battletech world, and just giving him a shout out and promoting everything he does for Battletech. Go check out the Valhalla Club podcast if you haven't already. I'm pretty sure all of you have if you're listening to me. Next up is first up on his list, I should say, is the Oscout OTT-7JB. We've covered this one quite a few times, I'm sure. It's a 35 tonner, 8/12/8 movement profile, standard fusion engine, 72 out of 119 armor, as armored as you're gonna kind of get for a 35 tonner. It's just got a medium laser and an active probe, and it's got 10 heat sinks, singles, so you can't even jump the full 8 and fire the medium laser and remain neutral. It's kind of funny. You got one weapon and it's going to overheat you if you utilize all your jump jets. If you jump for 7, you'll be fine, but not 8. No, not 8. That's too far. But that active probe is great for grabbing those objectives. solid objective runner, and it's at 4.3 for your DFA purposes, not to mention pushing and or charging, which can be quite devastating if pulled off correctly. And yeah, the medium laser is in the center torso, so you're hands free for fisticuffs. Next up, oh hey, that's right, I forgot. Matt took as many OST units as he possibly could. Next up is the Ostroct OSR-2C, coming in at 4.5 skill value. This is a 60 tonner coming in at 1,228 battle value, 5.8 movement profile, good, 15 single heat sinks, so total sinkage of 15, which is could be better. It's also got 144 out of 201 armor. That could also be better. It's not the worst. It's a little light for a 5.8, but it's not that bad, so it's okay, especially when you look at its weapon loadout. It's got a large laser and a medium laser in the left torso, a large laser and a medium laser in the right torso, as well as an SRM4. So you have 2 large lasers for poking out to 15 hexes, and then 2 medium lasers for backup, and an SRM4 for once you close the gap. And since you've got 15 heat sinks, you can't quite stay neutral and fire both of those large lasers. So you're gonna have to drop one eventually, but you can fire them both on your way in, cool off a little bit, fire one the next turn, and then cycle them around until you get to brawling range with those mediums and the SRM4. But 15 is not quite enough, but it's also not egregiously low. So it's still a good mech, still solid, and still dangerous, especially considering it's only 1,200 battle value. That is a bargain. Just gotta watch your heat. So good mech there too. Next up is the Soul OTL-4D. I think this mech is actually on my list as well. So coming in at 60 tons and 1277 battle value at 4.5. So no skill ups here. It's got a 5.8 movement profile, standard fusion engine, I should say, 16 heat sinks, 144 out of 201 armor. So again, a little light on the armor there, but not the worst defense. And the weapon profile is similar. It's got a large laser in the left torso, a medium laser in the left torso, and then a large laser and a medium laser in the right torso, and then 2 more medium lasers mounted in the center torso, but rear mounted, just in case anybody tries to backstab you. And no ammo, so you can't go boom. And you got a standard fusion engine, so that 144 armor is actually going to go a little longer, and you have that 1 extra heatsink, which will make a difference in the long run. If you can get this to a nice little perch and then just, stand still, you can unload those large lasers every turn with 0 qualms. Or if you're moving around, 1 large laser and the 2 mediums, and you're good. You're perfectly neutral. That 15 heat sinks on the Ostal, or I should say on the Ostroc, wasn't quite enough. 16 is just right. So if it had 1 more heat sink, the Ostroc would be that much better. But the Ostal is just ekes it out a little bit better. And I already said the Ostroc was good just because of how cheap it is. The Ostal is only like 50 more battle value, and it's just that little bit more better. So 2 more good mechs. So far all 3 are winners, which is, I did throw a vote at this list just because it was fun and on theme. I think I only threw like 1 or 2 points at it because I knew I wasn't going to get it, but just for gits and shiggles, I did it anyway. Next up is the Osprey OSP-15. This is a 55 tonner coming in at 1720 battle value. Ooh, so this is one of the more expensive units on his list. It's got a 220 XL rated engine, so extra light fusion engine there. It's also got 20 total heat sinkage, 10 doubles, and a 464 movement profile. So it's not fast, and it's got an XL engine, and it's got decent heat sinkage, not great, but good for the era. 176 out of 185 armor, pretty good, nice, well armored. And it's got 1, 2, 3 medium lasers, 1 in the left arm, 2 in the right arm. Oh, hey, it's also got an LRM-10 in the left torso and a Gauss rifle in the right torso. Ooh, okay, now we're talking. So you've got 2 tons of ammo for that LRM-10, 2 tons of ammo for the Gauss rifle. You've also got case in the left and right torso to cover the Gauss rifle and the LRM-10 ammo. I wish they would have moved the Gauss rifle ammo somewhere else, but it's in the same torso with the ammo that goes boom. So if one of those LRM-10 ammos goes up, you also lose your Gauss rifle, which sucks because there goes all the Gauss rifle ammo. So not as efficient as it could be, but also not terrible. An LRM-10 with the Gauss rifle is solid for poking, and then you've got 3 medium lasers to back you up for brawling, and you're well oversunk. You don't even need anywhere near 20 heat sinks because that Gauss rifle only costs 1 heat. So you could get away with probably 10 heat sinks on this thing and still be perfectly functional. But it does have them, and it's completely neutral. A good poking / brawling bracket fighter. Can't complain. And next up, we ran out of Ostmext for this area. I don't think there's an Ost War available right now. Is the Nighthawk NTK-2Q, coming in also at a 4.5 skill value. Oh, the Osprey was at 4.4, so that's a little bit better. Oh, I see. It's a little more tankier, so that extra little bit of piloting will go a long way. So the Nighthawk NTK-2Q is a 35 tonner coming in at a 6.9 movement profile. It's got a extra light fusion engine. It's a 210 rated, 24 double heat sinks, 12 doubles. It's got 112 out of 119 armor, so about as armored as you're going to get for a 35 tonner, which isn't much. And it's got a 6.9 movement profile. This is kind of like the Jackrabbit, and I kind of already don't like it. 24 heat sinks is a lot, and I see why it has them. There we go. It's got a medium pulse laser in the left arm, an ER large laser in the right arm, and a regular large laser in the center torso. Okay, so another light laser sniper. The Jackrabbit doesn't get good marks from me. The only thing this thing has going for it is that ER large laser has even more range, so it can stand even further back and pray it doesn't get hit by anything bigger than, a PPC. So yeah, not a great mech, but not terrible, usable for sure. Funnily enough, I think it's the second fastest mech on the list, and it's also probably, the one you don't really want to get that close with. So yeah, not a bad mech. That ER large laser goes out to 19 hexes. Not bad. Just keep it safe. Don't let it get blowed up. And last and definitely not least is the Stalker STK-3F Little B. I'm pretty sure we've covered this one already, and this one also made it into my list. It's a 85 tonner coming in at 2,029 battle value at 4.5 skill level. It's got 34 total heat sinkage, a standard fusion engine. Hey, now we're talking. 248 out of 263 armor. So this thing is a beast. It's got an LRM-15 and 2 medium lasers in each arm. So that's 2 LRM-15s and 4 medium lasers. And it's also got 2 ER large lasers, 1 in each of the side torsos. Yeah, this thing is disgusting. You've also got 3 tons of LRM-15 ammo that are all Artemis capable. So you do have Artemis 4 for both of those LRM-15s. And you also have case for that Artemis 4 LRM-15 ammo in case it decides to go boom. And you do have a standard fusion engine. So if it does go boom, you're not out of the fight thanks to the case. And just for good measure, you got a Guardian ECM. That way if you can, ever get to the center with your 3.5 movement profile, you can trace buster some of those mechs with active probes and make them roll a 7 instead of a 5. This is a disgusting anchor for a mech. It does it all. It brawls, it pokes, and it pokes really hard from far away. Can't complain. It's the Death Blimp. So solid list from Matt. I normally wouldn't have thrown any bids, but I liked it so much I couldn't resist. Great list. Good all-around mechs. A little light on armor for the Ostrak and the Ostel, but I think that Stalker just being a brick shithouse makes up for it. So good list all around. Hopefully whoever gets it pilots it well. And next up after Matt, we do have Daddy Fatbeard. Oh, I thought someone was describing me. Coming in with a Star League regular list. Oh, if I forgot to mention it, Matt's list was also Star League regular. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. This is the first mech is a Pillager PLG-3Z coming in at 100 tons. I think we've seen this one already. 2,697 battle value at 4/5. Good Lord. This is like a third of your list almost. Coming in with a 353 movement profile. Those 3 jump jets will actually make a big difference. It's got an XL engine, so not as tanky as you might think. It's got 28 total heat sinkage, 14 doubles, 307 out of 307 maximum possible armor on a 100-ton mech. Ooh, baby. Man, it's got 52 center torso armor. 32 right torso, 32 left torso. That's a little more feasible than 52 CT armor. Good Lord. And it's also got 2 medium lasers in the left arm, 2 more medium lasers, 1 in the center torso and 1 in the head. It's also got a large laser in the right arm, and then 2 Gauss rifles, 1 in each of the side torsos. And you've got enough Gauss rifle ammo to last you for the full match on each one, and then some. You could, for whatever reason, if you felt like it, you could dump 2 tons of Gauss rifle ammo and still be good for both Gauss rifles. Man, so you don't even need to move this thing very far out of your starting zone, and then you can just set up shop and put the fear of Gauss in everybody, especially with that large laser too for backup. And those 4 mediums, anything getting too close is gonna have a bad time. Oh yeah, so this mech alone, he's not getting any votes from me. Disgusting assault mech. Very similar to the Nightstar that we saw way back, I think, in the first episode. Just brutal. Absolutely brutal. Too bad it's only got a 4/5 skill value. If this thing was 3/4, it'd probably be well over 3,000 battle value. But man, I don't know. I don't think might not be worth it. Next up is the Oscout OTT-7JB. We literally just covered this in the last list. 35 tonner, 610 battle value at 4/5 skill level, 812-8 movement profile, 72 out of 119 armor, medium laser, active probe, solid objective runner. Don't need to talk about it again. Thug 11E, THG-11E. I know we've talked about this one before. It's a 80-ton assault mech coming in at 1640 battle value, also at 4/5. I see a theme here. And it's got a 4/6 movement profile, standard fusion engine, 36 total heat sinkage, 18 doubles, maximum armor at 247 out of 247, 2 PPCs, 2 SRM6s, and case in each of the side torsos for both of those SRM6s. And it's got PPCs in the left and right arm. Solid mech that can brawl. You don't want to get too close to this thing because those SRM6s are going to open up a can of whoop ass on you. And you don't want to stay too far back either because those PPCs are going to open up a can of whoop ass on you. All around good mech. Very, very high armored. Just between these 2 mechs right here, the Pillager and the Thug, he's probably got more armor between these 2 than some lists do. Which is how disgusting these are. Next up is the Locust LCT-1V Little B, the best Locust, the Royal Locust, 20 tonner, 812 movement profile. We literally just went over this a little bit ago. XL engine, 69 out of 69 possible armor, as armored as it's gonna get. 2 medium pulse lasers, 2 small pulse lasers, medium laser, great light hunting and objective running mech. Pulse lasers are really good. Next up is the Warhammer WHM-6R Little B, also at 4.5. 70 tonner, 1431 battle value, 4.6 movement profile, standard fusion engine, 34 total heat sinkage, 179 out of 217 armor. It's got 2 PPCs, 1 in each arm, 2 medium lasers, 1 in each side torso, a small laser in each side torso, a machine gun in each side torso, and then an SRM-6 only in the right torso. Throwing off the balance there with that SRM-6. How could you? It's also got 1 ton of SRM-6 ammo that is Artemis 4 capable, so you're likely to land more missiles on a consistent basis, and a full ton of machine gun ammo, because if it gets hit, half a ton isn't enough to blow you up and send you all the way across the planet. You need the full ton for that. So solid Warhammer. It's got the double heat sinks that the original always wished it could. The armor is a little light for a 70 tonner, but it's still not bad. It's a good mech. Double heat sinks, can go boom. I mean, if you're worried about going boom, I mean, it's not really worth it to drop the machine. I mean, you could drop the machine gun ammo because it is in the center torso, but I don't think it's worth dropping the SRM-6 ammo. That's a solid weapon that you don't want to dump. I mean, you could if you're really worried about getting crit seeked into oblivion. So yeah, another good Warhammer. I'm pretty sure we've seen it before. Solid. So far, this whole list is real good. One of the more scary ones we've seen so far. And last and definitely not least is the Clint, coming in at a 3.4 skill value, CLNT-1-2R. It's a 40 tonner at 933 battle value at 3.4. It's also got a standard fusion engine and 10 single heat sinks. It's got 72 armor out of a possible 137 for a 40 tonner. And it's got an AC-10 in the right arm and a medium laser in the center torso. And you've only got 1 ton of AC-10 ammo. And that's it. So you've got 10 shots with the AC-10 and a medium laser for backup. At 933 battle value, I can say I probably would have put the Locust at 3.4 just because it's so much more dangerous than this Clint, but I do understand wanting to hit more consistently with the longer range weapon, and this does have slightly more armor. It is significantly slower though, so I mean, it's not bad. It's 933 battle value at 3.4 for an AC-10 and a medium laser. It's not bad, but it's not great. It's just probably just a filler mech, which, I mean, the rest of the list is so good, people aren't even going to pay attention to this Clint, and it's going to plink away with all 10 of those AC-10 shots while they're getting eviscerated by the Pillager with its Gauss rifles and the Thug with its PPCs, and the Oscout and the Locust are running circles around everybody while the Warhammer's also getting in there and either brawling or poking, whatever it feels like, because it can do it all. Solid, scary list. I think this one is arguably one of the most disgusting and hard to kill that we've seen so far. All right. So yeah, well put together list there, Daddy Fatbeard. And last for this time around, and definitely not least, is Holly, coming in with a Star League Royal list. So let's go ahead and get into some of these mechs. So the first one is the Flashman FLS-8K. Didn't we just cover this? Yes, we did. It's got 3 large lasers, XL engine, 5.8 movement profile, 75 tonner. This one is at a 4.4 skill level, so not quite as expensive as the other one. 216 out of 231 armor, a whole bunch of medium lasers, 3 large lasers, which I would consider a whole bunch of large lasers, a flamer, and an AMS system to swat out those missiles which are in almost every single list that I've seen so far. Solid brawling / poking mech. Next up is the Exterminator EXT-4C, coming in at a 4-3 skill value. This is a 65 tonner that moves 696. Wow, that's a fast boy. It's got an extra light engine, 20 total heat sinkage, 10 doubles, 168 out of 211 armor. Decently armored for how fast it is for a 65 tonner. 696 is a solid speed there. He's got 4 medium lasers, 2 in each arm, an LRM-10 in the left torso, AMS in the right torso, which is anti-missile system, and then a small laser in the head. It's also got a ton of LRM-10 ammo in the center torso, which I don't like. And it's also got a ton of AMS ammo in the right torso, which is also not ideal because you do have an XL engine. So, I mean, it doesn't matter where you put the ammo. If it gets hit, it's going to go boom and the mech's going to die anyway. The saving grace and thing that makes this absolutely disgusting, and why I'm not actually going to throw any votes at this list, is the Chameleon Light Polarization Shield and Null Sig system. Absolutely ridiculous mech. And it's fast, it's hard to hit, and you can poke from afar or close the gap and brawl. Oh man, yeah, no, absolutely not getting any votes from me. Just between these two, I haven't even gotten to the disgusting crab. Oh man, so this is a crab CRB-27SL coming in at a 4-4 skill level at 1440 battle value. The crab we all know and love. It's a 50 tonner. I know we've covered this one because this is arguably the best crab ever created. It's a 585 movement profile with the XL engine, 28 total heat sinkage, 161 out of 169 armor, as good as it gets. It's got 2 large pulse lasers, 1 in each arm, a medium pulse laser in the center torso, and a regular medium laser in the head. That's oversunk. You can jump and shoot both of those large pulse lasers and still be 3 heat under. Absolutely efficient, brutal mech. Amazing at killing light mechs. Good mech. Next up is the Mongoose MON-66, 25 tonner. I know we've talked about this one multiple times. H-Well movement profile, 10 single heat sinks, 834 battle value at skill rating 4-4, 89 out of 89 armor, as armored as it's going to get. It's got 3 medium lasers, 1 in each arm and 1 in the center torso, a small laser in the head, and an active probe in the left torso. Great objective running light mech. It's a little slow compared to some of the hovercraft out there, but it's still good. And next up, we literally just went over this on Matt's list, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, maybe I am mistaken, because this is a better version of it. It's the Ostrock OSR-2C Little B. So this is the Royal Ostrock, coming in at 60 tons and 1626 battle value at 4-4 skill level. It's got 28 total heat sinkage, a standard fusion engine, hell yeah. 161 out of 201 armor. No, that's pretty good. Pretty good. I think that might be slightly more than the regular 2CB. It's also got an ER large laser in each of the side torsos, a medium laser in each of the side torsos, and a streak 2 in each of the side torsos. So, and 1 ton of streak ammo, because that's more than you'll ever need. So just to recap, 2 ER large lasers, 2 medium lasers, and 2 streak 2s. Paired up nicely, and if you lose a torso, you don't lose the mech unless it's the center one. Absolutely, this is a good mech. And you have enough sinks to fire those 2 ER larges every turn if you so wanted, especially while you're closing in, and move and not generate any heat. Good mech. This is a solid upgrade, and it's not much more expensive than the original. If you have access to it, why not take it? And last but definitely not least, and probably could have swapped it for the Royal if you had access to it, if you drop some piloting skills on some other mechs, or, you know, swap some stuff around maybe. But the rest of the list is good, so I can't complain, is the Locust LCT-1V. This is the standard. I mean, you think of a Locust, this is the one that comes to mind. This is as basic as it gets. It's a 20 tonner coming in at 432 battle value at 4.5. So this is literally just like filler from what I can tell. 812 movement profile, 10 heat sinks, which it doesn't need, 64 out of 69 armor, and it's got 2 machine guns, 1 in each arm, and then a medium laser in the center torso, and 1 full ton of machine gun ammo, because you don't have anything else to spend it on except for maybe a small laser for half a ton, and drop the machine gun to half a ton would be better. But oh well, what are you gonna do? Or another machine gun. I mean, that would work too. But yeah, so 2 machine guns and a medium laser on an H12 movement profile for 432 battle value, which is absolutely dirt cheap, is not bad. But considering for 200 battle value more, you get the Locust 1VB with the pulse lasers. Not that efficient either. I mean, it's good. It's dirt cheap. It's a distraction / objective runner. I can't complain. For house, it's literally half the price of the Mongoose almost. So good list overall. Flashman, solid brawler. Exterminator has shenanigans and with the stealth polarization nonsense, and good at brawling. Crab, excellent poker, excellent light hunting mech, and good at brawling. Mongoose, good at objective running and backstabbing, and can brawl a little bit with other light mechs because it's got those 3 mediums. Ostrak, also good at poking and can brawl if it wants. And the Locust 1V to be a distraction / objective runner. It's like, what is your purpose? To run objectives. So yeah, good list. Let's go ahead and recap the rest of these. Holly's also did not get any votes from me, in case you were wondering. Let's go ahead and recap these lists. First up was Inyept with his Jackrabbit and Dervish, which are the weak links, but the Dragoon brothers, the AEM2 and the AEM3, the AC20 version and the Gauss rifle, or I'm sorry, 15 LRM or 3 LRM15s on the AEM3, solid mechs. They can do a lot of heavy lifting and carry this list to victory. The urban combat vehicle, great at poking. SRM carrier, it's an SRM carrier. You put it on an objective and anything that goes near it will be just eviscerated by it. Enough said. And next, surprisingly, I think Kaiserflock's list was really good. The Alfar shocked me with how good it was. I like this thing. Solid, well-rounded brawling / poking / crit seeking mech. It does it all. It slices, it dices, it crits you with an SRM6 after it opens you up with PPCs and medium lasers. Next up, the Flashman 8K, which we've seen at least one other time today. Solid brawler. Locust 1VB, solid anti-light hunting mech and backstabber. Star Slayer, another decent brawler that can poke with those larges. Not bad. Beagle Hover Scout, great at objective running. And the Guillotine, another solid brawler that can kind of poke with the large. So another good list. And then after Kaiserflock's list was Matt's list, which I think is one of my favorites, just because A, it's got a good theme going to it, and then B, it's just got so many good laser boat mechs that are survivable and hard to take down, or deceptively hard to take down, because they've all got standard fusion engines in case if they do have any weaknesses that go boom. Really well built list, really scary, really good at poking, out to 15 hexes, surprisingly. Yeah. And then following up Matt, which I didn't think it was going to get much better than his when I was going through it, is Daddy Fatbeards, which is not what my wife calls me, I swear. And his list is ridiculous. The Pillager is just a wall that's going to take you the entire match to chew through if you even attempt it. Scout, great at objective running. Thug, I mean, it's a thug. I mean, max armor. There's 500 armor almost between the thug and the pillager, and I guess if you throw the Osk out, it gets you over 500. That's a whole lot of armor just in these two mechs. Good luck. Good luck to anyone who has to try and kill these. Locust 1VB, literally just went over it. We've seen it at least twice so far. Just today, I know we've seen it multiple times previously. Solid at brawling and killing other light mechs. The Warhammer 6RB, Royal Warhammer, I mean, it's good. It's good at poking. It can close the gap and brawl if it wants. Hell, you could even dump all of your ammo and then sit back and poke with those PPCs all day if you so choose. And it's pretty cheap at $14.31, all things considered. Between this and the thug, this is one of the most efficient poking / brawling lists out there, especially with how much armor they both have too. On top of that, granted, the Warhammer is a little bit easier to make go boom, but it is what it is. And then the Clint. Yeah, the Clint's filler. I mean, the AC-10's nice for poking. Can't say too much about it. And then Holly also has a really solid objective running list. I mean, the Mongoose and the Locust 1VB are going to be just tearing stuff up if they get paired up, or they can go two different directions and then cause havoc for any other light mechs that are trying to run the gauntlet past them. Crab, also extremely dangerous at light mechs. Exterminator, absolutely disgusting with the high-tech chameleon stuff. Can brawl and be extremely hard to hit. Flashman, we already mentioned, pretty tanky, good at brawling, good at poking, well-rounded. The Ostrak 2CB, an improvement over the Ostrak 2C, which was already good to begin with. So yeah, solid list. And then there's a Locust. You know, just, I mean, there's 400 battle value left. Why not? But yeah, all of these lists this time around were real good. I don't think I put any votes on any of them except for Matt's, which I knew I wasn't going to get just because I liked it so much. Yeah, good luck to anybody going up against these lists. I think if I had to say which one would be the hardest to pilot, it would be Inyip's list here. The Jackrabbit and Dervish are going to need some finesse to get some use out of, but the Dragoons are just kind of plug and play, baby. You know what I mean? Well, I'm going to stop talking to myself and call it for this time around. Hope you guys enjoyed the match, or I'm sorry, hopefully you guys that are playing in Cameron are enjoying your matches, and those of you that aren't are enjoying at least my list analysis. I've already played 2 matches so far. I've got 1 more to go eventually against Trailblazer. Once I get that match done, I will do a full event recap. I will not be casting my own games. I do have footage of some other people's games that I'm going to be trying to find people to cast with, because I can only talk to myself so much before it starts to, you know, get to me. So if you guys have anything else you want to see, let me know. I've only got 5 more lists to go through. 4 technically, because one of the lists is mine and I've already talked about it on the Coolant Pod, but I'm going to go over it briefly again, because there's some mechs on there that we haven't seen yet, or at least one mech on there that we haven't seen yet, I should say. We've seen the rest of them at least once. Maybe we haven't seen the catapult. But yeah, the rest of the list are also fairly solid and interesting, but there's 5 more total left, and those will be the last 5. And then I'll get into casting matches and doing other video content once I'm completely done with these. So yeah, let me know if you guys want to, what you guys want to see next once I'm done with these, which will be the next video I put out. Hopefully, won't be too much longer. Maybe it'll be sooner than I think, if I can find the time to do it. But yeah, thanks for joining me this time around, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Good night, everybody.